Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Abilene People, where right here on BigCountryHomepage.com, we talk to Abilene's most interesting people. And I guarantee you, or your money back, today we have one of the most interesting people ever, Brittany Pelletz.
I'm very flattered. Thank you for even putting me in that category. You have interviewed quite the talent around here.
But, I was just yesterday with the former editor of the Reporter News was here, Doug Williamson, and he was, Brittany, I love Brittany. I'm glad she's back.
That's so nice. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, well, I slipped in $10.
I know what you do. I know.
Seriously, I think there are so many people excited that you're back. Right now they're seeing this and they go, wait, I recognize her from somewhere.
I know her from somewhere.
Okay, where do they know you from? Could it be KRBC or could it be KTAB?
It can be.
Could it be both?
It can.
Or maybe they were in Florida and they ran into you.
Well, it's a small world, actually. So, that would not be that surprising.
I want to get to KRBC, KTAB, which is your most recent and probably most well-known stint as anchor of the 5, 6, and 10, and the 6 and 10 with Bob Bartlett. There's a little, just kind of a big deal around here. Well, some people know him, but they remember you from that. We're going to get there, but I want to talk first just about where were you born and raised and all that stuff.
So that's not a short answer. So you've got some time, right?
Yeah. Okay. A podcast, it's
time is just.
In fact, I'm going to put the watch away and talk to us. Let's talk.
Thank you. Yes, I was born in Massachusetts. Only lived there for a short amount of time before moving to Scottsdale, Arizona. Then to Sarasota, Florida. That was circa, not going to do years here.
So you did like an isosceles triangle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sarasota, Florida is where I started kindergarten and stayed there until 8th grade. Then I moved with my mother up to New England and lived in Massachusetts again, this time in Harvard, Massachusetts. I was there for 8th grade and the rest of high school. I graduated high school from the Bromfield School in Harvard. And I had enough of winter and I knew I wanted to be a journalist at that point. Well, long before that, really. But of course, I was applying to schools for broadcast communication and went to a school in Miami Shores, Florida, Barry University, to study and pursue my childhood dream of being a journalist.
Now, was it your childhood dream to be a journalist, so you went to Barry School of Journalism in Florida? Or did you really secretly dream of living in Miami on the beach?
It was no secret.
Okay.
It was fact. It was like there has to be a way to make these two things collide. I have to be near the beach and in the warm weather year round, and there has to be a good journalism program there.
Miami, is that a beautiful place to live?
It is a beautiful place to live. I think it's an even better place to visit. Because it's a big city, and I mean it's a thriving culture. There's so much to see and do and eat and explore, but it's definitely not a slow pace of life place. So certainly, I would prefer raising children here in Abilene, where it's a much different pace of life as compared to Miami. But college was fun.
So you came to Abilene right out of college.
I did. That was a little bit of a culture shock.
Okay, now there's a story. I don't know the details of it, but before you get to the culture shock of Abilene, I want to talk about how you would save in your phone news directors as ND, and when you got an offer, tell us about it.
Okay, this is a pretty good story. I've shared it with students at Barry University when I've gone back to speak, when I've been invited to do that. So basically, times have changed, so this isn't done exactly the way it is now. However, at that point, you just need to get your foot in the door anywhere and you're willing to go anywhere. So I remembered making my DVDs at that point. Things had changed from the tape to DVDs of a video reel of work that I did to show at places and your reporting style and the stories. And I sent it to probably 80 TV stations around the country. There was no being picky, like I want to live in Florida by the beach anymore. It was whoever's going to give me my shot, I'm going to go. I was trained that this is what you do. So I had 3 potential offers that I was talking.
And by the way, if I could, I just want to interject and say 2 things. That's a big change from tape to disc, which you were there, and now it's from disc to digital. It's a whole different world. No, it's a whole different world. It's just crazy. And are you kidding? I'm old enough to remember before tape, but that's
not
true.
Quite the writing on the wall, though.
But close. That's close. So, and the second thing that I want to say was that is so common when young
starting out
journalists start out. they have to put
Leave everything they've
1,000
known.
hooks in the water to get one nibble. to
Yeah,
get one fish.
I made so many trips to office supply stores to get the, packaging to keep it like, with the bubble wrap and, the fancy paper for the resume, all those things that, now are all digitally
Right.
done.
And so you sent like 100 out.
So many. And I went regularly. And I went to show to the class at Barry University the receipt of, however many were that particular day, 70 or so. And it was a long receipt of showing that it's going to Nebraska, North Dakota, Texas, et cetera. I'm listing those three specifically because those are the three that I heard back from and were giving me a conversation. And so I had put them all on my phone, the person that I spoke to on the phone, which I believe was all the news directors. So I put ND, sometimes that was before, sometimes that was after their name in the contacts of the phone. So
And you would have gone to any of the ones who offered you a job, right?
I mean,
could have been
thank
Nebraska.
goodness the others did not
could have
work
been
out.
North
because
Dakota, could have been
Can you
Texas.
imagine those winters?
Yeah, no.
In Fargo, North Dakota, or Lincoln, Nebraska?
No, what we experienced here for that 1 week
It's
way
hard
back,
enough.
it was hard enough.
Yes.
Imagine that all the
I
time.
know. I'm still healing from many live shots here in the big country at ungodly hours, showing the precipitation outside, the icy road conditions.
Quite the shock going to Miami, enjoying that. But yeah. Okay.
But the funny story with that, sorry, I'm a little long-winded on this.
No, I keep interrupting.
But I called my grandmother because, she's not here anymore, but she's definitely an inspiration. She always wanted to be a journalist and had 3 boys. And at that time, it wasn't the working mom thing for many families. So she lived vicariously through me. I called her and I was like, I'm going to North Dakota. And she's like, oh my God, we're going to have to buy winter stuff. But yay, you're doing it. So excited. And then I look at the phone and I'm like, that does not say, I'm sorry. Yes, I thought I was going to North Dakota, but it was not North Dakota. It was Abilene, Texas, and I thought news director and North Dakota were the same.
Indeed.
Yes. So that shows, I guess, I don't want to say desperation, but the eagerness of a journalist and just willing to go wherever. But I would be remiss if I did not mention his name because it will always. I will never forget Austin Kellerman, a huge key player in the company that we work for. He's the one who gave me my first shot in the business. And I feel bad at the time that I didn't know where he regionally was and was just willing to go wherever he was, that he would employ me. I was pleasantly surprised, though, that it was Abilene and not North Dakota.
But it's interesting because Austin Kellerman, now he was the news director,
Yes.
the ND, the North Dakota here for several years, hired you. And then since he has stayed with Nexstar Media Incorporated and is head of digital for all of Nexstar.
He's so talented. It's unbelievable. I've never met somebody with his.
That kind of gets back now to why you're back or kind of how it is you're back and what you're going to do. We'll save that for a minute.
Cool.
But yeah,
Yes.
that's really cool. It kind of comes full circle.
It does come full circle.
But Austin's a great guy, and he has a great eye for talent. He hired you. He says, hey, I like her. I'm going to bring her to Abilene.
And it's so, somebody who can do that and see the talent from somebody so green out of
yeah, it's
school,
crazy.
I'm like, how did he ever hire me?
It's crazy.
And he gave me so many opportunities.
Well, I've heard you say very, very self-deprecating where you'll say, hey, look, I was not that good. I think you're probably better than you think.
There was a lot of flailing arms and over dramatics, until you rein it
That's
in.
what you did,
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. Thankfully, we've come a little ways since those
So
days.
you came to Abilene, and then you met your husband in Abilene. I think.
did a year after. So I had a year just focusing on journalism and the role that I played as a reporter and an anchor. And then I met him here. He's a local boy. So he's from Jim Ned and Merkel. My husband's name is Justin. And we've been together for 16 years now.
And I will quickly say, again, I keep interrupting you, but you're so engaging. It's just hard for young people when they just start out to even have time for a casual cup of coffee or something, much less date, because you're so busy.
You're so busy, and it was so focused on what I was here for and why I was here. However, I will say the Abilene effect is in there. Somebody who knows somebody was like, oh, you know him, and we have mutual friends. And, the next thing is those mutual friends were in our wedding, years later. So, yes. So
the bridal march is playing in the back of everybody's minds. That's good.
Yeah.
And you've had children.
We have children. And so when my time on air, I was on air with KTAB more recently from 2013 to 2019. And so both of my pregnancies were shared on air. I was large and pretending I was in charge, here. But it was such a beautiful thing to be part of this community that is just so supportive, as a new mom, the resources, the people who reached out, the generosity, it was incredible. So what's funny though, is that was a long time ago. So my daughter is 10. So 10 years ago, I was pregnant for the first time here. And then my son is 7. So they're grown up, and it's a whole different chapter from when we left here. My daughter was almost 4, Dylan, and my son was 8.5 months old. So babies.
And you left here and went back to Sarasota, Florida for a period of time, but you're back now.
I'm back now. I know. You never know where life is going to take you. However, there's a bookstore downtown that has a sign that is a bestseller, and I now own it. It's in my living room. I should have brought it. All roads lead back to Abilene.
Yeah.
So that is true. And not just for me, for many people watching now. Some people are like, I tried to leave. And,
Well, it's true.
This is my 3rd time returning back to Abilene. I'm pretty confident we're staying for a while.
I hope so. I hope so.
My kids are now.
Kind of makes me a little nervous you whispered that, but it's okay. It's all right. It's
I mean,
okay.
you never know where life's going to take you, but we did come back to my husband's family is all here, and so we're embracing life here, and my kids are in elementary and intermediate schools.
And so I want to make one thing clear, because somebody's watching this and they're still a little confused. Okay, I get it. I hear that she was on KTAB, she was on KRBC, but how do I know her? But you did sit beside Bob Bartlett.
I did.
At the anchor desk for a
6.5
number of years.
Yeah, we had some good times together. I mean, he obviously in this community, he's so well respected and it's well deserved. He's done incredible things and really led the way of journalism in Abilene. So it was a pleasure to work together. I think we had really good on-air chemistry together, and brought, and everything was authentic. I still see him now, and we're picking up where we left off.
It's funny. Bob was on the podcast, I don't know, Travis, about a month ago, you think? Probably so. Oh, he's so funny. He said right toward the end of the podcast, well, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I laughed so hard. I said, what a recommendation from none other than Bob Bartlett.
Quote that, yeah.
Yeah, but Bob is an icon.
He really is.
And
so
Bob,
it was a privilege to work alongside him. And one of his longer-standing co-anchors.
Yes,
with him too. So we had,
and he's been an anchor, and he's been on TV in Abilene over 50 years. He's been at KTAB 46 years.
Right.
That's really remarkable.
An incredible career.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you probably count that as a real
highlight
important time of your life and your career.
Absolutely.
But you started. When Austin hired you and brought you to Abilene, you started at KRBC.
I did. Yep. I started as KRBC as a reporter. I think about 6 months in, Austin gave me an additional opportunity to anchor the newscast that exists now as Abilene Midday. And at that point, it didn't exist. So it was really cool.
Wait, now you were the first anchor?
I was the first anchor for Abilene Midday.
Now you've met Heather Easley,
I have.
the current anchor
Yes, she's lovely.
and she's fantastic.
She is.
So when you met her, did you just say, "Hey, I was first"?
I
Just
didn't.
don't forget that.
I did not share that. Danny.
You should.
No.
You should. I wonder if she knows.
I mean,
that.
it was my baby, but I'm glad to share and know it's in good hands after all these years.
Yeah, it is. It is. But that's kind of a fun legacy. You were the first. You started it.
It was really. I mean, it was a pinch me moment in my budding career.
And it's go ahead. Sorry.
No, and then I just went on to anchor the 5 o'clock news, and still I love reporting, and I still do. So I was given the opportunity to do. I think I did do midday and first at 5 for some time together, but then somebody else did midday, and I used to co-anchor with Randy Turner, another well-known around here. So that was some fun times too.
And Randy now is down
our
in
partner.
San Angelo at one of our sister stations down there. So that's so fun. Okay, but this is perfect because KRBC, we're going to check that box. KTAB, we're going to check that box. Reporter, we're going to check that box. Anchor, we're going to check that box.
Yes.
Okay. So
ready for new boxes?
Yeah. What do you hear? What do you hear for us? This is fascinating, and in a way, we're announcing it now. Though there's a lot more announcement to come. This is not the formal rollout, but we can start teasing this and talking about it now. What are you here for?
Well, first, I do want to take a moment that I was moving back here with the unknown of what I was going to do next. So we were coming here for an opportunity for my husband, and I was in my supportive wife era, and I was like, I will figure it out. I've been out of journalism, not exactly, I guess out of the TV aspect of journalism.
Yeah, because you were
I was
still
doing that.
doing things on camera, doing PR.
Yes.
Yeah, very much.
So,
but you had not been back in the TV world.
right. But when I came back, I was like, what am I going to do with myself? Thankfully, our general manager, Albert Gutierrez, and I have maintained a really positive relationship after all these years. And he reached out just very organically. Let's have a conversation. You're coming back. And I was like, okay, I got to, this door's open. Let's see where it goes. So we had lunch and kind of spoke about the direction and things that are happening in the industry that we work in. And it kind of seemed like the right place, the right time. And, I'm now here. My title is digital anchor, digital content anchor. And so we are really paving the way for what that is, what that looks like. So it's very exciting. There's no, roadmap to follow. We're kind of rolling with the punches, seeing the needs and the interests of those who are watching at home, how they want to get their news, how they want their updates, how they want to engage, be interactive. And we're making the space for that. We're making it easier and seamless to do those kinds of things. So I'm putting on a lot of the hats that I held previously, but we're trying on new things.
I don't want to make it too dramatic, but Stephen Ambrose wrote that incredible book, best-selling book about the Lewis and Clark expedition, Undaunted Courage, and of course, that is about when Jefferson sends them out on the western exploration of what we call the Lewis and Clark expedition. But there was no book, there was no map, there was no anything. They just started, and now it's truly history. Well, right now you're starting on a journey in this digital world, digital content, digital anchor. It's not exactly different because there's no roadmap. You're going to be really very entrepreneurial in a sense of creating a lot of things. And one thing I'm very excited about, not that I'm a young mom, but moms are going to be excited about. But I think it's going to be great content. You and Stacy Lopez are going to.
We used to co-anchor together as well on KTAB. So now we're coming in these seats here and really going to bring some, firsthand experiences and share our journey of motherhood.
And that's a podcast you're going to do. And what's the name of it?
It's called On Time for Mom Time.
On Time for Mom Time.
Yeah, it's got a little ring to it, right?
Yeah. I think I'll start one. Not so rad dad fad, but maybe not. I don't know.
It just needs a little tweaking, or you know what? And just see if it sticks.
Maybe it needs a lot of tweaking. Okay, so tell us what your idea is for the podcast, because I think it's very exciting.
So this is exciting, and Stacy kind of was already coming along with this idea, as was I separately. And then when we came together, it was like a no-brainer. Like, we're friends, we're both mothers on the journey together. So so we're going to have special guests. We'll have on some local experts. We'll have, everything from that we're planning, at least right now, from foster parenting, from dog moms, like the list is.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It's not just humans, and it's not just.
Fantastic.
Yes. So we're going to do everything from like the birth planning process to, preparing for college, and everything in between. So it's
really, really cool.
It's going to be a really fun project.
And that will be posted on bigcountryhomepage.com.
It will be.
And that starts, I think, this week.
We are recording our first video this week, so stay tuned for when it's going to be shared, but we'll have it shared regularly, so it'll be a weekly podcast for people to come and look for, and we want it to be engaging too, and we're going to want to hear from people on what they want to hear on other topics too.
So if you will subscribe to the bigcountryhomepage.com updates, and if you'll subscribe to the app updates, download the app on your smartphone, you'll be getting those alerts when the On Time for Mom Time.
You got it.
I was just a little confused because I was still thinking of the not so rad dad.
No, you were stuck on. Yeah.
But okay, so then there's going to be all kind of other stuff. You know,
yeah.
So we talked about what we know. This is what you've done, and this is the kind of stuff you're really good at. You're very memorable. But now we're a little bit into the unknown. We got the podcast. You've got a plan for that. But let's say that there's going to be, we're currently in our digital studio space,
we are.
but that's going to probably be bigger and remodeled and expand, and you'll have a hand in all of that. And you're going to be kind of one of the central focal points for bringing people midday, mid-afternoon, late morning news on the digital platforms, and ultimately on a streaming platform that people will be able to download on their smart TV.
Yes, it's really exciting. It's big. Yes, the wow. I second that.
Almost a little overwhelming.
It can be, but it's exciting.
We got the canoes loaded. We're we're in the Missouri River.
We need the life jackets, though.
River, wow, how embarrassing that I right now can't think. What is the big river that flows right by the Gateway Arch in St. Louis? I think it's the Mississippi. So we're in the canoes. We're launching. We're going. But here we are. Where are we headed?
So that's the fun part is it's not all planned out, but some of the things that I'm doing in the short term are gathering a lot of content, getting out in the community, not just sitting and waiting for things to come us, and digging deeper, finding stories of impact, people of impact, and really making it, again, accessible and on everybody's time. Not everybody has the same schedule that I do, but there are many working moms or working dads and whatever. So viewing habits have changed for how people absorb and get their news and their updates. So this is how we're getting ahead of it and growing with the community and making it, you want your update at, 1:22 in the afternoon, we're going to have something valuable for you about the community you live in or topics that pertain to you. And
brought to you by a content creator and an anchor that you can trust.
Yes,
which is really important.
Yeah, I'm very grateful that the station has given me this opportunity to really kind of help navigate where we're going. I mean, we're all in this together, and there's a lot of people behind the scenes. It's definitely not a just me thing, but I'm really appreciative to be in this seat.
So do you envision, pardon me, we talked about kind of some breaking news stuff, but do you also envision maybe a new news program in that platform that happens either daily or on a regular basis that we make available to the viewing audience, both streaming digitally and through the app that they'll get on their TV as well, that kind of stuff? We're talking about all of it, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That will definitely be something that is planned out and will be a little bit, again, since the viewing habits have changed, even the setting and the atmosphere will be a little bit more conversational probably in areas and not as lengthy. We're going to try to cover a lot of ground and not leave out any details, but really stick to the points and things to get it across and, make sure that it sticks with you and that you understand and you get the answers you're looking for and you kind of to button up what your interests are. And yes.
It's really interesting how no matter how much changes, some things do stay the same, which is local personalities bringing you your local news, currently on local TV, but then local digital and web and streaming services, but it's local with local people. Awfully important to folks because that's still where they get their local news.
Yes. I mean, this is a big job in general, journalists that they have. Part of what we need to do is gain that trust and reliability and likability. I mean, who wants to listen to somebody that you don't trust and that you don't like, So, of course, everybody has their preferences. Not everybody likes everybody as much as wish there was more kindness around. We're not
everybody loves Brittany.
Hey, there are definitely some people that I'm not their favorite, and that's okay.
But I get it because, though you can get your news from a relatively faceless digital company like Google or Meta or X or, TikTok, there's something to be said.
Human element.
For the human element, someone you can trust, someone that you know, and you're perfect for that. That was what was, I think, really fun about Albert saying, "Hey, look, Brittany's coming back to town. We got to figure out, where she fits in this big new adventure called digital and streaming services."
I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
I had a couple of moments of being a little lost, professionally and coming back. I'm like, so it's just amazing how the pieces are coming together. And I mean, it's inspiring and motivating, for something that's new. I'm ready. I'm ready to hit the ground running.
Yeah, that's fun. Okay. So I want to just back away from all this as we start drawing it to a conclusion and just have a little fun, okay?
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So if you said to your kids, hey, let's go get something, okay? What would they be more excited about? Pizza or burgers or tacos?
Oh.
And why?
Well, here's what's funny here. None of the above.
Oh,
because
really?
they're children
What?
and they want to make it difficult. And they'd say
Really?
they want Asian.
Are you kidding me? Really? They would go
My
Asian?
son likes pizza.
Wow.
They neither like tacos. What was the other?
Yeah, pizza, tacos, or burgers.
No, and no burger eaters.
Wow.
I know. They're
That's amazing.
Kids are complicated.
That's amazing.
So welcome to my nightly, what should I call it? It's not a dilemma. My
Well,
nightly,
it's kind of a dilemma. So what
what are we having for dinner?
So if you go out, are they going to say Asian? Seriously, they would say, let's
They
go
often would
find a
because
place.
they are big, right? They love rice. They love edamame. They love different kinds of Asian dishes.
Who
yes,
knew?
they do.
Who knew?
But I know it's a popular one. But yeah,
Wow.
they're picky. So
Okay, so here's another one. We recently had the West Texas Fair and Rodeo.
Oh, yes.
Were you back in town
we
for
were
that?
here.
Okay.
Just just in time.
So you're walking down the Midway,
Yeah.
all right, and there's the twirly whirly
Yes.
thing, and it goes like this. It would just
Yes.
makes me
Yes.
even.
Sick,
Oh my
just-
gosh!
I know.
To think about it.
Yes.
Then there's the Ferris wheel.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a bouncy house. Which one your kids want to go in and why?
Well, we did go on the Ferris wheel. I'm not really good at this game, Danny, but we went on the Ferris wheel together because that was the ride that mom and dad could handle.
That's the great answer.
but-
That's the great answer. That's reality right there, right?
Right. I was like, this is it. This is where we draw
because
the
you
line.
You get north of about 30, 35 years of age, and those roller
Doesn't
coasters are
sit
no
well.
more.
It's not as
Yeah.
fun as it used to be.
Oh, yeah.
But they love the spinny ride too, and then
wow.
and the bounce house. They're there for all of it. That's why you get the wristband and do them all
Yeah.
in 10 times.
Yeah, so I was over in Dallas with my daughter, who's an adult and young adult. She's a interesting, fascinating young lady, and she said, "Let's go to the state fair," and I said, "Okay." So we walked
I
around.
haven't been to
and-
that one.
Oh my
but I've heard
goodness!
it's
Oh my
incredible.
goodness! I am telling you, we walked around for about 3 hours. And I would watch the ride. This is how old I am. I would watch the rides and vicariously start to feel a little queasy and say,
gosh,
"There's
I
no
get
way.
it.
There was not a.
There's your virtual reality.
There was not a single ride I could ride. No. Oh no, I
Aw,
couldn't do
that's
any of them.
sad.
No.
You were good. You were
I was
good.
fine. I was fine. In fact, I got to a point where after a Fletcher's Corny Dog, I said, I can't watch any more rides.
I get it. I get it.
I had ridden I can't ride another ride. I can't watch another ride.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
A great place to people watch.
Oh, I
and that's
know.
true, I think, of the West Texas Fair as well.
Well, it's such a
Great place.
tradition. I mean, years ago, Sam and I did lots of live coverage out there for the fair. That was a big part of my, that was one of my favorite moments on air of KTAB. It was tradition. Like Sam and I were at the fair. We were competing at the water gun game. Pretty sure I won all those.
Did you take him down? That's amazing.
yeah, you
'cause
know, I mean-
Sam's quite the competitive guy.
I know. So I don't know. Sam, I don't know if you're going to dispute this or not, but my recollection.
Sam's been on the podcast. It'll be interesting to see
Ooh.
if Sam watches the podcast
Oh,
with you.
Sam, I watched yours.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm sure he will. Okay, so great to have you back in town.
Thank you. It's great. Thank you for inviting me for this opportunity.
100%. And I want to one more time let people know you and Stacy are starting your mom podcast
Yeah, we
this
are.
week. It may not be posted for a few days, but it's going to
It's
come
coming
soon.
soon. It's
Yeah.
ready or not. It's coming soon. It's going to be weekly. We hope that it gets off to a success from the start and that we can keep rolling out the guests and the content and, things on events that are coming up that moms in this community would really like. So it's going to be great. It's going to be fun.
And then people can find you at bigcountryhomepage.com. They can communicate with you. They can even probably give you ideas for digital content. I think you have a whole lot of fun in front of you,
I do.
even
I'm
though
lucky.
as we head out, it may be just a little unknown,
Yes, I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Well, you'll do
Yes.
great.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Brittany Pelletz.
Thank you, Danny.
Star of the
Pleasure.
show.
Oh, stop.
Star of the show. You're back.
You're sharing
This is
it.
great.
Yeah.
This is great. This
Thank
is
you.
fun. So we need to put together a promo. We did this for Stacy when she came back.
Okay.
It was Stacy's back.
Yes, I
And,
know.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. We need
Yes.
a Brittany's back, and you know where to find her on bigcountryhomepage.com.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And thank you for joining us here on Abilene People. We certainly had a very interesting Abilenian today. An Abilenian, well, she was originally in Massachusetts. You say
I know.
Massachusetts?
You don't have to, you won't be quizzed later.
And then Florida, and then Arizona, then Florida, Abilene, but she's back.
I'm back.
That's the good news, and we're glad to have her. And I want to give a shout out to our ace producer, Travis Corrigan, TCB, taking care of business. That's what he does over there at the switcherboard, all for you. And I am your host, Danny Sims. So glad you were here for Abilene People, and we will see you next time. Have a great day.